The brick shattered against the front window with a crack like thunder, shards exploding inward like brittle accusations. I froze in the kitchen, coffee mug slipping from my fingers to shatter on the tile, the hot liquid scalding my bare feet as whispers of freak and pervert echoed from the dark yard outside. In that instant, as the cold October wind howled through the jagged hole, I knew my dream of building a safe haven for us, right here in this suffocating suburb, had just ignited a war I never asked for. I'd moved to Willow Creek 5 years earlier, chasing the illusion of normalcy after too many nights crying in cramped city apartments where love felt like a secret shame. At 35, I clawed my way into a life that looked stable on the outside, a cozy 2-story colonial with a picket fence, a job as a counselor at the local community center helping teens navigate their storms, and Javier, my anchor, the 38-year-old high school history teacher whose laugh could melt the iciest glare. We weren't flashy, no rainbow flags flapping defiantly in the breeze, no pride stickers on the minivan we shared for grocery runs. Just two men trying to plant roots in soil that hadn't been tilled for acceptance. But roots need water, and after a string of stories from friends about marriages crumbling under the weight of hidden truths, I couldn't stay silent anymore. "We need a space," I told Javier one rainy evening, our legs tangled on the couch as thunder rumbled like unspoken fears. For couples like us. To talk. To heal. To remind each other we're not alone. He kissed my temple, his stubble rough against my skin. "Then build it. Mi amor. I'll stand with you." So I did. The Willow Creek Gay Couples Support Circle started small, announced in hush flyers at the center and a tentative post on the neighborhood app. Our first meeting was in our living room. 8 folding chairs in a semicircle. The scent of Javier's Arroz con Pollo wafting from the kitchen to ease the nerves. There was Marcus and Theo, the architects in their 40s who'd driven 2 hours from a city, their hands clasped like lifelines. Lena and Sarah. No, wait, our group was for men loving men. But I'd left the door cracked for allies. And that first night, it was just us 6, 3 couples, including a nervous pair of 20-somethings fresh from college, their eyes wide with the raw ache of first love tested by family ultimatums. We shared stories that night, whispers of parents who stopped calling, jobs lost to rumors, the bone-deep exhaustion of pretending in a world that demanded straight lines. Laughter broke through too, tentative at first, like sunlight piercing clouds, when Theo admitted he'd once hidden his engagement ring in a sock drawer from his own brother. By the end, as hugs lingered longer than usual, I felt it, a spark. This could be more than survival. This could be sanctuary. Word spread. Or maybe it was the app post with its innocent plea. Join us Thursdays at 7 p.m. for connection and support. All welcome. That lit the fuse. By week 3, we'd outgrown the living room, spilling into the community center's back room with its scuffed linoleum and flickering fluorescents. 15 of us now, faces from all corners, the burly mechanic with his soft-spoken partner, the corporate lawyer shedding his tie like armor, even a retired veteran whose gravelly voice cracked when he spoke of love's lost to don't ask. Don't tell. Javier manned the coffee urn, his easy smile drawing stragglers in, while I facilitated, my counselor's instincts guiding us through the minefield of emotions. But outside those walls, Willow Creek closed ranks. The neighborhood Facebook group, once buzzing with potluck invites and lost cat alerts, turned venomous overnight. What's next? Drag queen story hour for the kids, sneered Mrs. Hargrove from across the street, her post racking up like bullets in a chamber. Mr. Ellis, the retired cop 2 doors down, chimed in with a winking emoji beside "Keep that garbage off our streets." Graffiti bloomed on our mailbox overnight, slurs and red spray paint that Javier scrubbed away at dawn, his jaw set like stone, refusing to let me see the fury in his eyes. It stung deeper than I admitted. That mockery, because Willow Creek had promised escape from the city's chaos, the hate crimes splashed across news feeds, the pulse-pounding fear of holding hands in public. Here, we'd bought the house with dreams of barbecues and block parties, of blending into the tapestry of minivans and mortgage payments. Instead, we became the stain. One evening, as I locked up the center after a session that had left everyone raw from a guest speaker's tale of conversion therapy scars, I found the tires on Javier's car slashed in the lot. No note, no witnesses, just the hiss of air escaping like a collective exhale of bigotry. He laughed it off later over takeout tacos, but I saw the shadow in his gaze, the way his fingers trembled as he passed the salsa. "They're scared. Alex," he said, voice low. "Scared of what they don't understand. Or what they do." That night, in bed, his body pressed to mine, we made love with a desperation that bordered on grief, slow, deliberate thrusts that mapped every scar, every curve, as if to etch our bond into the universe against the unraveling world. The attacks escalated subtly at first, whispers turning to shouts. At the grocery store, Mrs. Hargrove bumped her cart into mine, her smile all teeth as she muttered, "Hope you're not recruiting my grandson." The kids on bikes veered close, chanting "Gay-D-I-O" before pedaling off in giggles that echoed like accusations. Even the mailman lingered longer, his eyes flicking to our welcome mat with its faded "Home Sweet Home." Javier, ever the optimist, suggested we host an open house, show them we're just neighbors. Amor, but I knew better. Invitation would only invite more stones. Instead, I poured everything into the group. We themed nights, boundaries and bedrooms, where couples role-played coming-out convos, legacy of love, sharing heirlooms from hidden histories. Attendance swelled to 25. Men from neighboring towns risking the drive, their stories weaving a tapestry of resilience that mended my own fraying edges. There was Daniel, the 29-year-old barista with ink-sleeved arms and a stutter that vanished when he spoke of his partner's unwavering faith and his love. Ryan, a nurse whose gentle hands had steadied Daniel through panic attacks born of church-bred shame. Their kiss at the end of Share, soft, unapologetic, drew applause that thrummed like a heartbeat. Yet the isolation gnawed. Holidays loomed. Thanksgiving with Javier's family, a video call from Miami, where his abuela's blessings came laced with questions about that friend Alex. Christmas cards arrived blank from the block, save one anonymous envelope with a single word: sinners. I woke one morning to find our porch light smashed, the bulb's filament glowing faintly in the grass like a dying star. Javier found me there, knees drawn up, staring at the debris. "We fight back with love," he whispered, pulling me into his chest, his heart pounding a rhythm of defiance. But doubt crept in, a serpent in our garden. Was I dragging him into this? The man who'd left Cuba as a teen, chasing American dreams only to find them barbed with bias? That night, as rain lashed the windows, we argued for the first time in months, my voice cracking with self-recrimination. his rising in frustration. "This isn't just your fight. Alex, it's ours. All of ours." He stormed to the guest room, the door clicking shut like a verdict. Sleep evaded me, the house creaking with ghosts of what-ifs. Dawn brought fragile peace. Javier's arms around me in apology, his lips tracing Lo Siento on my collarbone. We recommitted, doubling down on the group. I reached out to a local LGBTQ center for resources, securing grants for childcare during meetings, turning our circle into a hub. But the neighborhood's chill deepened. At the fall block party, our first since starting the group, tables groaned under pies and potato salad, laughter bubbling under string lights. Javier and I manned the grill, flipping burgers with forced smiles, when Mr. Ellis sauntered over, beer in hand. "Heard you're running a little club," he drawled, eyes narrowing. "Just what this town needs, more deviance." The word hung, thick as smoke, drawing stares. Javier's grip tightened on the tongs, but I stepped forward, voice steady. "It's a support group, actually. For couples building lives. Same as anyone." He barked a laugh, clapping my shoulder too hard. "Sure, kid. Keep it in your basement." As he walked away, the whispers started, forks pausing midair. We left early. The uneaten cobbler weed brought sweating in its dish like unspoken shame. Winter clamped down, snow blanketing Willow Creek in deceptive purity. The group became my lifeline. Sessions stretching late with tales of holiday heartaches, partners disinvited from family feasts, gifts returned unopened. One night, a new couple arrived, Ethan, 42, a burly contractor with calloused hands and a beard streaked gray, and his husband, Liam, 40, a librarian whose wire-rimmed glasses couldn't hide the bruises of doubt. They met on a job site, Ethan fixing Liam's leaky roof, sparks flying amid blueprints and bad jokes. But Ethan's crew had caught wind, tools vanishing, shifts cut short. "I built half this town," Ethan growled, fists clenched, "and now they won't touch my hammer." Liam's hand on his knee steadied him, their eyes locking in a gaze that spoke volumes. Inspired, I suggested a solidarity stroll, monthly walks through the neighborhood, hand in hand, reclaiming the streets. 10 couples signed up, bundled in scarves and coats, our footsteps crunching defiance into the frost. The first walk was electric terror. We started at dusk, a loose chain of linked arms snaking past manicured lawns. Catcalls pierced the air, "Go back to the city." A beer can arcing from shadowed porch to clatter harmlessly. But we pressed on, Javier's gloved hand warm in mine, his thumb tracing circles of reassurance. By the third loop, heads peek from windows, curiosity edging out contempt. Mrs. Hargrove watched from her stoop, arms crossed, but her scowl softened when when Daniel waved, his stuttered "evening, ma'am," hanging polite in the chill. It wasn't acceptance. Not yet, but it was a crack in the ice. Spring thawed more than the ground. The group hit 30 members. Our center room packed with folding tables for potlucks after shares. Javier surprised me with a custom sign for the door, "Welcome home," carved by a group dad who'd come out of 50. Romances bloomed within walls too, the barista Daniel confessing a crush on a quiet accountant. Their first date, a group-endorsed picnic that ended in shy kisses under oaks. My own love with Javier reignited in stolen moments, lazy Sundays tangled in sheets. his whispers of forever drowning out the world's din. But the neighborhood simmered. Anonymous complaints flooded the HOA, disrupting property values. Our mailbox, repainted thrice, bore fresh scratches. Then came the fire. It was a Thursday, mid-May, the air thick with lilac and anticipation for our annual love letters night, couples reading vows anew. I just dimmed the lights. Javier passing out notepads scented with vanilla, when shouts erupted outside. Smoke billowed, acrid and choking, as flames licked the community center sidewall. Chaos exploded, men coughing, grabbing jackets, phones flashing 911. Ethan barreled through the door, extinguisher in hand from his truck, foam hissing against the blaze born of a Molotov through the window. Sirens wailed distant, then near, red lights painting our faces in hellish glow. As firefighters doused the embers, I scanned the crowd. No injuries. Thank God, but the violation sank deep. A gut punch of violation. Javier pulled me aside, his face soot-streaked. We're not stopping. You hear me? This only makes us louder. The arson made local news. A blip between weather and sports. Suspected hate crime at community center. Willow Creek recoiled, but not in solidarity. The Facebook group lit up with coincidences, loose wires, kids with fireworks, while Mr. Ellis posted a photo of his own singed fence from last summer's drought. Caption perspective. Petitions circulated to shut us down. Signatures from faces I'd waved to for years. Javier's school principal called him in, concerned about distractions, code for damage control. That night, alone in our kitchen, I shattered, sobs racking as Javier held me, his shirt damp with my tears. What if we leave? I whispered, the words treason. He cut my face, eyes fierce. No. This is our home. Our fight. Summer scorched the grudges into ash. Or so I hoped. The center repaired swiftly, donations pouring from national orgs, our group ballooning to 40 as stories spread. We pivoted to outdoor meets in the park, blankets spread under stars, bonfires crackling with shared heat. There, amid esmores and confessions, bonds forged unbreakable. Ethan and Liam led a workshop on building from ruins, their hands intertwined as Ethan admitted the fire had forced his crew to confront their own closets, one foreman tearfully outing himself after decades. Romance threaded through too. Daniel and the accountant's wedding, small and ours. Vows exchanged with rings etched unbroken. Javier and I renewed ours quietly, on a blanket away from the fire, his lips promising always, through flames, but the turning point brewed in shadows. One muggy August evening, as crickets chorused our park circle, a figure approached the tree-lean, Mr. Ellis, hat in hand, face etched with something like regret. He hovered, then stepped into the light, voice gruff. Heard about the fire. Thought. Maybe I could listen. Gasps rippled, but I nodded, gesturing to an empty chair. He sat rigid, nursing a water bottle as stories flowed. Ryan's nursing shifts covering for beaten lovers at ERs. Theo's blueprints for safe houses. Ellis's eyes glistened at the veteran's tale, fists unclenching. When a circle broke, he lingered. My boy. My son. He's like you. Struggling. In a closet still, the admission hung, raw as exposed wire. Javier clapped his shoulder. There's a seat here anytime. Word of Ellis's visit leaked. A pebble in the pond. Mrs. Hargrove attended next. Her pie a tentative olive branch, eyes widening at the laughter over bad date tales. Whispers shifted. Maybe they're not so bad. By fall, our walks drew watchers, not jeers, but nods. The HOA president, a stern widow, joined a session after her nephew came out, her voice trembling through questions that peeled back layers of learned hate. Drama peaked one crisp October night. Echoes of that first brick, a confrontation at the park. A cluster of young toughs, faces twisted in beer-fueled bravado, hurled slurs from the shadows, fags ruining the town, a bottle shattering near our feet. Panic surged, but Ethan rose like a oak, voice booming calm. We faced worse. Walk away, sons. Or join us, Ellis. There with the sun, out now. Hand in new partners, stepped forward. Badge long retired, but authority etched in stance. Enough. This is family. The kids scattered, tails tucked, and in the hush, applause thundered, not just ours, but neighbors emerging from houses, phones lighting faces in reluctant witness. From there, the tide turned inexorably. The group evolved. Allies welcome, knights packed the center. Straight couples probing their privileges. Gay ones sharing scars that bridge divides. Javier's school integrated our resources. Pride flags subtle in hallways. Our home, once a target, hosted block potlucks where slurs dissolved in shared salads. Ellis's son found love in the circle. His wedding a neighborhood affair. Toasts mingling tears and cheers. And Javier and I, our love, tempered in fire, burned eternal, mornings with coffee kisses, evenings with hands entwined on porch swings, watching Willow Creek bloom into something brave. In the end, the mockery that once shattered windows built bridges instead. Love, it turns out, isn't silenced by stones. It's the force that gathers them into foundations. We founded more than a group. We forged a family. One reluctant heart